As the title of this chapter represents, there are three parts: electromagnetic wave. Okay, so we have studied electricity, magnetism, and waves in electricity and magnetism in 12th class and waves in 11th class. So let's recall the study, or let's start the study by recalling the 11th concepts. Okay, first, can anyone tell me what is a wave? What is a wave, or when wave will be generated? Any
When
idea?
there's a disturbance,
A disturbance is transmitted in space. Okay, how the disturbance is produced? How the
Vibration.
vibrations or oscillations are needed. Some particles need to oscillate, or some quantity must be oscillating. Okay, in case of mechanical wave, that means we have seen in a rope, if you just give a hump, you can see that that hump is traveling from this point to that point. And so in that case, what is the thing that is oscillating there? What is oscillating there? The particles in the ropes are oscillating. That's why you can see a propagation like this. Okay, crusts and troughs are there. Okay, in the case of sound waves, what is happening? How the sound waves are created?
Sir,
Rarefactions
rarefaction.
and
refraction,
contractions. Okay, so that means there is a oscillation of pressure or oscillation of density. Okay, we have seen that there are contractions, high density, and then low density, high density, low density, high density, low density. So in that way, when we talk, we are oscillating the air molecules, or we are compressing them. So compressions are there, and next stage is rarefaction. So this is a continuous process. Okay, so just we'll start talking from here. Here it will be compression or rarefaction, then compression, rarefaction, compression. It is continuously transmitting in space. So you know that whenever a physical quantity oscillates in a particular manner, a disturbance is traveled from one point to another point. Okay, in the same way, you can see that in wave, this is a wave. That means here any physical quantity should oscillate. But actually, in case of electric magnetic waves, there are two quantities which are oscillating. From this animation itself, you can see there are two quantities which are oscillating. We'll see why there are two quantities. Okay, so here the quantities which are vibrating are electric field and magnetic field. So first we will see what is a electromagnetic wave. It is a disturbance or disturbance propagated as a result of wave is always a result of oscillation. What is oscillating here? Here we have an oscillating electric and magnetic field. You can see here the blue line represents electric field. See that particles are oscillating. Electric field is oscillating along y-axis. Magnetic field is oscillating along z-axis. Sorry, yes, z-axis. Then if these oscillating electric and magnetic fields are there, they are mutually generating each other. I will tell what it is. Now you just think that here in this wave, electric field and magnetic fields are oscillating. We know that in order to generate a wave, there must be an oscillation of a quantity. Here, what is that quantity? It is nothing but electric field and magnetic field. But in case of for example, in case of sound, we are talking only about density. We are not talking about anything. But here simultaneously two things are oscillating. Let us see why there is a simultaneous oscillation of electric field and magnetic field. Okay, for that you have already studied. Okay, what is that? You have studied that an time varying magnetic field produces electric field. Time varying magnetic field produces electric field, that you have already studied. And in the same way, we can say that the time varying electric field produces magnetic field. That means if a charge is oscillating. What is the meaning of oscillation? It is a simple example for acceleration. This charge is accelerating. First case, if the charge is stationary, if the charge is stationary, if the charge is stationary, what will happen? Only we will have electric field. We will have electric field. This is not varying with time. Okay. Now, if we have a charge moving in uniform motion, so this is a moving charge, it will produce electric field as well as magnetic field. Okay, but further there will not be any production. Why? Because here magnetic field is not varying with time, electric field is not varying with time. Now take an example in which a charge is accelerating. That means its velocity is changing. It is accelerating. For example, in this case, oscillation. At this point, the velocity is maximum. At the top point, velocity is zero. Then velocity increases, velocity decreases to zero. Like that, it is continuously changing. That means this is a case of acceleration and decelerations. Or you can say that oscillating charge is the best example for accelerating charge because there is a continuous change in velocity or there is an acceleration. Okay, so here one thing you should keep in mind: if a charge is in rest, only electric field. If a charge is in uniform motion, electric field it will produce, magnetic field it will produce, but they are not varying with the time. They are constants. Okay, with respect to time, they are not varying. But when we have an accelerating charge, let us see what happens. When the charge is accelerating, you know that as the time changes, its velocity also changes. Therefore, the magnetic field changes with time. If the magnetic field changes with time, time varying magnetic flux changes d phi by dt, then there will be an EMF, or we can say that there is a varying electric field. Okay, so here you can see that as electric field changes, what happens? Magnetic field changes. As magnetic field changes, again it is time varying magnetic field. It produces electric field. This electric field produces magnetic field. This magnetic field produces electric field. So you can see that once you give just an oscillation, what will happen? There is a continuous production of electric field and magnetic field. First we have, they are mutually together. Okay, first we have a time varying electric field. That time varying electric field will produce a time varying magnetic field. This time varying magnetic field will produce a time varying electric field. This is a continuous process. So they will start to propagate in space. You can see here, first electric field is produced, in the same way magnetic field is produced. This magnetic field will produce next electric field. This electric field will produce next magnetic field. This magnetic field will produce next electric field. Like that, there is a continuous propagation of electric and magnetic field. This propagation is called as electromagnetic wave. So in simple language, I can say that electric field and magnetic field are mutually producing. A varying electric field produces a varying magnetic field. A varying magnetic field produces a varying electric field, and this process continues. So as a result, what happens? There is a continuous oscillation of electric and magnetic field, which is propagating through space. So there is a disturbance produced. That disturbance is called as electromagnetic wave. Wave, anything, some quantity is oscillating. What is oscillating here? Both electric field and magnetic fields are oscillating. Why both? Because time varying electric field produces magnetic field, time varying magnetic field produces electric field. They are mutually producing each other. Hope this much is clear. So let's see what is electromagnetic wave. So what is the basic concept? Electric and magnetic fields are sources to each other. What is the meaning of that? As I told, time varying electric field produces magnetic field. This time varying magnetic field produces electric field. So this is a continuous process, never ending. Once you produce one time varying thing, automatically other will produce, that other will produce the next one produce the next one. So it goes on continuously. Okay, so in that case, there is a oscillation or there is a disturbance traveling through the space. That disturbance is called as electromagnetic wave. The first indication or first scientist who told that there are electromagnetic waves, his name is Maxwell, Clark Maxwell. Okay, so what he has done? He has combined electricity, he has combined magnetism, and he has combined waves, or you can say that they are electromagnetic waves are nothing but we'll study in optics. So he has combined electricity, magnetism, and optics, and together it is called as electromagnetic waves or electromagnetism. Okay. Okay. So as I told earlier, here one thing you should keep it in mind: electric and magnetic fields are sources to each other. As a result, there is a disturbance passing through the space, and that one is called as electromagnetic wave. So, electromagnetic wave is a wave in which electric and magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. So, here this is the characteristic of electromagnetic wave. I will give you a diagram. So, this is the diagram. See here, first we have electric field. This is time varying electric field. So as a result, what happens? We have a time varying magnetic field. This time varying magnetic field produce time varying electric field. This time varying electric field produce time varying magnetic field. Again, magnetic field produces electric field. Electric field produces magnetic field. Magnetic field produces electric field. And electric field produces magnetic field. As a result, the propagation transmit through this one. So if you observe this one, you can see that the if you take the axis, you can see that this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis. Here you can see that the electric field is along y-axis, the magnetic field is along z-axis, and the direction of propagation is along x-axis. So in electromagnetic wave, the three things are mutually perpendicular. What are the three things? First one, electric field, oscillating electric field. Another one, magnetic field. Another one, the wave, the direction of propagation of wave. These three quantities are mutually perpendicular. So let's see how to mathematically represent this one. So do you have any idea how to represent a wave? Y is equal to 11th class waves chapter. Y is equal to
A cos omega t.
a cos omega t, or you can generally write y is in terms of sine or cos, you can write y is equal to a sine kx minus omega t. Why I have taken x here? Because the wave is traveling in the x direction. Okay, what is k? What is k? What is k? 11th class.
Sir, 2 pi by lambda.
What is the name of that? 2 pi by lambda. That is called wave number. What is omega?
Angular frequency.
What is the equation for that?
2 pi by
2
t.
pi by t, or you can write it as 2 pi nu. Okay, so here in this case we have two waves. What are they? Electric field is also changing, magnetic field is also changing. So how can we represent electric field? First, in this case, tell me what is Ex, Ey, and Ez using this expression, general term for a wave. Anyone? It's a general question. I know that if I ask a particular person, I will not get the answer because you don't remember what I taught in the last class. Then how can you remember what I taught in 11th class? Ex. Anyone? Ex. Ex. Nobody? Somebody wants to try so that I can help you. Somebody is ready to answer, then we can proceed. Okay, Neville. Neville.
Sir,
What is the direction of oscillation of electric field?
the electrical field in the y axis.
Y axis. So we have electric field only along y axis. So what Ex will be?
Ex will be a sine.
Y. Ex. There is no x
A y.
component. So it is 0. Ez will be?
Oh yeah, sorry sir, 0 sir.
Ez?
0.
Same way. Ez 0. And Ey can be written as E naught. Maximum value I am taking it as E naught sine kx minus omega t into vector. Which direction?
I cap. Sorry, J cap.
Got it? Similar. Okay. Similar way, can you tell me what will be B components? Components of magnetic field. Anyone? Bx, By, and Bz. Anybody can try. Bx, By, Bz. Yes, somebody come forward and tell me. Nobody wants to give a try. Dhananjay.
Sir,
Dhananjay.
Bx is 0.
Bx is 0 by
Sir, there is
magnetic
no
field is along z axis.
axis.
So By is 0. So what will be Bz?
B naught sine omega
B
B naught sine kx minus omega t
into
cap k cap.
That's all. So this is the expression for the electric wave and magnetic wave. Okay. So what we have seen? We have seen that time varying electric field produces time varying magnetic field, and time varying magnetic field produces time varying electric field. So electric and magnetic fields are sources to each other. They propagate through space. Okay, so in electromagnetic wave, electric field, magnetic field, and direction of propagation, they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, need not be in x direction. The wave can travel in z direction also. So in that case, you can write kz minus omega t instead of kx minus omega t. X, this represents the direction of propagation of wave. Okay, x. So if it is z direction, kz minus omega t will come. If it is in y direction, ky minus omega t. So if this is in z direction, wave is propagating. So what will be the general expression? A into sine into kz minus omega t. Then you can say that the electric field is along x-axis and magnetic field is along y-axis. Because they should be, they three should be mutually perpendicular to each other. Hope it is clear. Now let's see some properties of electromagnetic wave. First one I will show you. So here we have x-axis and we have y-axis and we have z-axis. Okay. Now electric field is vibrating along y-axis, magnetic field is along z-axis. Then the wave will propagate along x-axis. See here you can see they are mutually producing and the wave is traveling. The disturbance is traveling from one point to another point. So let's see some properties. So here this is the maximum value E naught. And here this is the maximum value B naught, maximum value of electric field and maximum value of magnetic field. Okay, now Nandana MS,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me whether the electric field and magnetic field are in phase or out of phase?
Sir, in same phase.
In same phase. Why did you tell that? Why did you say that? That's correct. When we will say that two waves are in phase.
Sir, both are 90.
Not 90,
Mutually
there is a particular. They are attaining 0 at the same time. Here you see both are 0.
Yes.
They are attaining maximum value at the same time. Again 0 at the
Yes,
same time. Negative maximum at the same time. Isn't it?
yes,
So they
yes,
attain their maximum and minimum values at the same time. So you can say that electric and magnetic fields are produced simultaneously together there. First, don't think that first electric field produced, then magnetic field produced. Not like that. They are mutually producing each other. Okay. So first point, variations in electric and magnetic fields occur simultaneously. Therefore, they attain their maxima and minima at the same place and at the same time. First point. There is nothing much to explain. You can see from that graph. Next one, the direction of electric field and magnetic field are mutually perpendicular to each other. See here, electric field is along y-axis, magnetic field is along z-axis. They are mutually perpendicular, as well as to the direction of propagation of wave. So direction of propagation is along x-axis. So direction of propagation, electric field is perpendicular to magnetic field and both are perpendicular to direction of propagation x. So if the wave is moving along x, then electric field will be along y and magnetic field will be along z. They are mutually perpendicular to each other. The electric field vector E and magnetic field vector B are related by. So this is the relation. You can get E naught divided by B naught. What is E naught? E naught is the maximum value of electric field. B naught is the maximum value of magnetic field. If you take the ratio, you will get the speed of propagation. So in this case, C is nothing but the speed of electromagnetic wave. C is speed of electromagnetic wave. That means you have a wave. In that wave, electric field is oscillating, magnetic field is oscillating or time varying. That means we have a maximum value for electric field and we have a maximum value for magnetic field. If you take the ratio, you will get the constant and that value is nothing but speed of propagation that we have already studied in properties of waves. Same property we have applied. So C is the speed of propagation of electromagnetic wave. And very interestingly, we have seen that the normal light, if you see the speed of normal light, it is equal to this value. From that, Maxwell concluded that light is an electromagnetic wave. Okay, so we'll study about light in details in next chapter, optics. So this is how he arrived at the conclusion that light is an electromagnetic wave. Okay, first there was a confusion. What is light? Okay, at last it was concluded that light is an electromagnetic wave. So our focus of study here is that if you take the ratio of electric field vector and magnetic field vector amplitudes, you will get a constant and that is nothing but the speed of propagation of electromagnetic wave and that is nothing but the speed of light C. Three properties are clear, I think. This is just stories in this chapter. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can stop me in between and ask. Okay, next property, the velocity of electromagnetic wave in free space. So let's see what is C. So you know that C is the speed of electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave has two components, electric field and magnetic field. So the quantity which expresses electric field is nothing but epsilon naught, electrical permittivity, and magnetic field is mu naught. So the other constant, nothing but the speed of light, is in terms of mu naught and E naught. You can write it as 1 by root of mu naught into E naught. You know the value of mu naught and E naught? Anybody remembers? Nia, what is the value of mu naught? What is the value of mu naught? What is the value? Anyone?
4 pi into 10
4 pi
raised
into
to
10
minus
raised to minus 7. E naught?
8.87 10 raised to minus 12.
Minus 12. Okay, so if you multiply that one, take the square root, take the reciprocal. You will get the approximate value as 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. This is nothing but speed of light. Okay, so if it is in a medium, what will happen? Instead of vacuum, this is free space. Instead of free space, if we have a medium, for example, water or anyone, so then what will happen? It will become 1 by root of mu into E. Instead of mu naught E naught, we will have mu and E. That's all. Permittivity and permeability. Okay, for the medium. Next, where mu and E are the absolute permeability and permittivity of the material medium. If it is water, you substitute the value. If it is any other material, glass or something, you can substitute the value. That's all. In that way, you can find the speed of electromagnetic wave in any medium if you know their electrical permittivity and magnetic permeability. If you know the two values, you can predict what will be the value of the speed of electromagnetic wave in that medium. Okay, next one. Electromagnetic waves obey the principle of superposition. Already you know what is principle of superposition. We have discussed, so nothing to discuss much. Next, electromagnetic waves carry energy as they propagate through space. Okay, so this is very important. This energy is divided equally between electric and magnetic field. You know that electric field associated with electric field, there is an energy. Associated with magnetic field, there is an energy. Electromagnetic wave contains both electric field and magnetic field. What does that mean? It has both electric energy and magnetic energy. Both electric energy and magnetic energy. Okay. Now my question is that, so the total energy becomes U is equal to electric energy plus magnetic energy. UE plus UB. Can anyone say what is UE? Energy in the electric field associated with the electric field. We have studied that in capacitor chapter. UE is equal to, anybody remembers? Energy density. I'm talking about energy density. Anyone? No reply?
So 1 by 2 nu naught E square.
E naught E square. That is UE. Okay,
E
good.
square.
Now UB, from this one itself, you can predict what will be that. Half into, if E naught is coming in numerator, mu naught should come in
B
denominator.
square by
If mu naught is coming in denominator, E naught should come in the numerator. They are mutually exclusive, you can say. So B square divided by mu naught. Isn't it? Isn't it? Clear? Is that clear to everyone? So we have electric, this already we have discussed. I am not going to discuss again. Electric energy and magnetic energy. Electric energy is half into E naught E square. UB is half into half into 1 by mu naught into B square. Okay. Now we know that in case of electric field, E is varying, B is varying. So in order to take the average value, we will consider the RMS value only. Because electric field, in the AC we have taken RMS value instead of E, isn't it? Hope you remember. So you can write U is equal to half into epsilon naught into E RMS square plus half into, 1 by 2 mu naught into B RMS square. half into epsilon naught into E RMS square plus half into mu naught into B RMS square. Now tell me what is the relation between E RMS and E naught? Peak value and RMS value. Who wants to say? Peak value and RMS value, what is the relation? E RMS is equal to. Take the notes along with me. E RMS is equal to. In terms of E naught, how can I write? We have studied in E naught divided by root 2. So similarly, B RMS can be written as B naught divided by root 2. So what will happen? 1 by 2 into epsilon naught E naught square divided by root 2 square is 2 plus 1 by 2 mu naught into B naught square divided by root 2 square is 2. So in general, we can write 1 by 4 E naught into epsilon naught into E naught square plus 1 by 4 mu naught into B naught square. So this is the energy density of an electromagnetic wave. I told already, electromagnetic wave has two components, electric field and magnetic field. Associated with electric field, there is an energy. Similarly, there is an energy associated with magnetic field. So what is energy associated with electric field? 1 by 4 into E naught in epsilon naught into E naught square. Plus, what about magnetic field? 1 by 4 mu naught into B naught square. Hope it is clear to everyone. Rutuparna? Rutuparna?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, this energy is divided equally between them. How can we prove that? We have to prove that UE is equal to UB. Both are equal. As I told, the electromagnetic wave carry energy as they propagate their space through space. So they have electric energy and magnetic energy. Now I want to prove that they are equally distributed. Whatever be the electric component, that many magnetic components should be there. UE should be equal to UB. Okay, let us prove that. First, let us take UE. What is UE? Is equal to 1 by 4 into epsilon naught into E naught square. Now you know the relation between E naught and B naught. Vismaya, what is the relation between E naught and B naught? Vismaya, do you remember? E naught divided by B naught, we have discussed. They are not there? Niranjana? Niranjana? E naught divided by B naught is C. E naught divided by B naught is yes. Okay, from here, tell me what is E naught. What is E naught? Sorry, what is E naught? From this one, E naught is equal to?
B naught into C.
B naught into C. So I can write this one as 1 by 4 into epsilon naught into, in bracket I will write C into B naught whole square. But you know that 1 by 4 into epsilon naught into, what is C square? What is C? C is 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon naught. So what will be C square? C square will be 1 by mu naught into epsilon naught into B naught square. Okay, Krishna. Krishna. Krishna is not here. Jodis.
Yes, sir.
Krishna, is the last step clear? I have written 1 by 4, 1 by 4 I have written here. Epsilon naught I have written here. Instead of C square, I am writing C is 1 by root of mu naught E naught. So what will be C square? 1 by mu naught E naught. And B naught square I have written here, B naught square. So what will happen, Krishna? Tell me now. How can we simplify? Any idea? Anyone?
So E naught cancel out.
E naught and E naught cancels. So what you will get? 1 by 4 mu naught into B naught square. What is this one? 1 by 4 mu naught B naught square. Here 1 by 4 mu naught B naught square, which is nothing but UB. So what you have proved? UE is equal to UB. That's why we are telling that the energy is divided equally between them. Diya, Dia,
Sir,
is the derivation clear?
sir, I was not there for the last 10 minutes.
Okay, then you will that I am not responsible. Then who else is there? Neha is Biju. Neha is- So this is a beginning of new chapter. So first itself, if you don't understand, means I don't know how will you follow. Okay, Neha, is the concept clear?
Yes, sir.
What is the first one? Electromagnetic wave has two types of energy associated with. What are they?
UE and UB.
Means electric energy and magnetic energy. And what is the relation between them? They are
C is equal to
okay. That is fine. I am asking what is the relation between UE and UB? Whether they are equal or unequal, or which is greater? UE is greater than UB, or UE
they
is
are equal.
they are equal. Is the derivation also clear to you? How we
Yes,
have
sir.
proved? Okay. So shall we continue to the next point then?
Yes,
With your
sir.
permission, Neha. Okay then. So next point is electromagnetic waves can transfer energy as well as momentum to object placed on their paths. Okay. So that already we have seen. They can transfer energy as well as momentum. For discussion of optical effects of electromagnetic waves, more significance is given to electric field that we will see. So electric field is called light vector. In light vector, electric field is dominant. Okay, that we will see why it is so. Okay, that we will see later. That we will see when we discuss optics chapter. Now, electromagnetic waves do not require material medium to travel. Do not require material medium to travel. Then what type of wave is it? What type of wave? Longitudinal wave or transverse wave? Hope you remember at least what is longitudinal and transverse. From the discussion about electromagnetic wave itself, you can say here the direction of propagation and direction of oscillation, they are mutually perpendicular. Whether you consider electric field or magnetic field, in both cases, it is perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So what type of wave it is?
Transverse wave.
It is a transverse wave. And so we can say that you see from sun, light is coming to earth. UV radiation is coming to earth. All these are example for electromagnetic waves. What is there between sun and earth? We have vacuum. There is no space. That means electromagnetic waves do not require any material medium. But sound. See here in sun, there are so many explosions happening. You know that nuclear reactions are happening over there, this energy is produced. So very huge amount of explosions are happening, so the sound is also very great, but they are not reaching earth. Why? Because sound waves cannot travel through vacuum, but the byproduct, that is light, that is energy there, that is reaching here in form of light. How it is reaching? Because electromagnetic waves do not require any material medium. That's why we cannot hear the explosion sound from sun, but we can see the explosion light from sun. Okay, because light or electromagnetic waves can travel, do not require any medium. They can travel through vacuum. Next, an oscillating charge has non-zero acceleration, produce electromagnetic. This already I have told you. What is the source of electromagnetic wave? The source of electromagnetic wave is a accelerating charge. Okay, what is the best example for accelerating charge? Accelerating charge best example is oscillating charge. So electromagnetic waves can be produced with the help of oscillating charges. And this experiment has been first Maxwell told that whenever there is a time varying magnetic field or electric field, there will be an electromagnetic wave. He theoretically predicted. And experimentally, this was proved by another scientist, Hertz. You know, SI unit of frequency, Hertz. Okay. So this has been experimentally proved by Hertz. And there is an experiment, Hertz experiment. It is not that important. It is given in the textbook. You read and understand. He will produce an oscillation in one side and he can receive the oscillation on the other side. That means there is a disturbance passing or there is a wave propagated. Okay, that you read and understand. Okay. Now, energy density of electromagnetic wave. I already told energy density is electric field plus magnetic field UE. How much it is? 1 by 4 epsilon naught E naught square UB 1 by 4 epsilon, sorry, 1 by 4 mu naught into B naught square, and we have proved that UE is equal to UB. Hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, now we are going to see what is electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, till now any doubt? Anyone? The properties of electromagnetic waves. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Any doubt, you can ask. Any doubt? I already told energy density is U. Okay, so total energy can be written as U. So I told the electromagnetic wave has both energy as well as momentum. So if you can find the energy, momentum is nothing but U by C. That is energy divided by velocity. mv square by v. V cancels, so mv. mv is nothing but momentum. Okay. So in the same way, P is equal to total energy divided by C. Energy, this is expression. So electromagnetic wave can transfer energy as well as momentum. Any doubts? Nivin? Nivin? Nivin, are you
Sir?
any doubt till now?
No, sir.
So can you tell me what is electromagnetic wave?
Electromagnetic wave.
Huh?
Sir?
What is the component of electromagnetic waves?
Electric wave, magnetic wave.
Time varying electric field and time varying magnetic field.
Magnetic field.
What about their directions?
Directions.
They are
perpendicular to each
mutually perpendicular. They are means three things are here. What are they? Electric field is there, magnetic field is there, direction of propagation is there. This much is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I will give you one question. You solve it. Okay. Write a question. What did I find it? Okay. So here, an electromagnetic wave, which is represented by dy, is 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 into sine of 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 3, sorry, 10 raised to 3 x plus 1.5 into 10 power 11 t Tesla. This is the representation of a magnetic field. First, you have to find wavelength, frequency, and second, write the expression for electric field. Do it now. So this is the question. Once again, I will read. The magnetic field in a plane electromagnetic wave is given by By is equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 sine 0.5 into 10 raised to 3x plus 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 t Tesla. A part of the question. What is the wavelength and frequency of the wave? Wavelength and frequency of the wave. Second question, expression for electric field. I'll give you 2 minutes time, solve it. Compare with the standard form, then you can find. Got it? Sri Lakshmi,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the direction of propagation of wave?
It is in x direction
X direction. Why did you say that?
because kx plus omega
Kx
t.
plus x is there. Okay, fine. Then what is the direction of magnetic field?
It is in y axis.
Because By is given. So can you predict what is the direction of electric field?
Z.
Z. Obviously x is there, y is there, then Z should come. Okay. Now we have to find lambda, nu, and electric field expression. So first we will write the standard form. By is equal to, what is the standard form? B naught sine
kx minus omega t.
Kx minus omega t. Okay, we can write. And then, so here what and all you can get?
We can get b naught, k,
Okay.
and omega.
What is the value of B naught?
2 into 10 power minus
2
7.
into 10 power minus 7. Okay, what is K value?
0.5 into 10 power 3.
0.5 into 10 power 3. What is the next one? Omega value?
1.5 into 10 power 11.
1.5 into 10 power 11. Okay, first question. How to find lambda?
Lambda equal to 2 pi by k.
Okay, or you can write K is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Isn't it? Implies lambda is equal to 2 pi by k. So substitute the value 2 into 3.14 divided by k. 0.5 into 10 raised to 3. And tell me the value.
Sir, you said 1.25 into 10 power minus 4.
1.26 into 10 power
minus 4.
Just once again you check the power.
Sir, minus 2, 10 power minus 2.
Raised to minus 2 will come. Sri Lakshmi, clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the unit?
Unit meter.
Next, how to find nu? I'll read the answer to someone else. Niranjan. Niranjan.
Yes, sir.
How can we find nu? Now omega is equal to 2 pi nu. Isn't it? Omega is equal to 2 pi into nu. For this one, how can we write nu is equal to?
W by 2 pi.
What about omega? You take 2 pi to the LHS. In RHS, it is multiplication. So when you take to LHS, it will become division. So what it will become? What is already there in LHS? Left hand side?
Omega by 2 pi.
Omega by 2 pi. Good. So substitute the value for omega. Omega is 1.5 into 10 raised to how much it is? 11. 10 raised to 11 divided by 2 into 3.14. Okay. Somebody solve and tell me the answer. Someone?
Sir, 2.38 into 10 raised to 10.
2.38 into 10 raised to 10. Right?
Yes, sir.
Unit?
Hertz.
Frequency. Just now. It's 2.38 into 10 raised to 10 hertz. Or you can write it as 23.8 into 10 raised to 9 hertz. Or this is nothing but 23.8 gigahertz. Okay, that is no problem. You can write. Okay, so that answer is also correct. Now, the second part, most important one. You want to get the expression for electric field. As Sri Lakshmi told, electric field is along Z axis. So you can write Ez is equal to E naught sine kx plus omega t. Kx plus omega, because kx plus omega t is given in magnetic field. So here everything is known, kx. So the term, this term will be same. What do you have to find? You have to find E naught. How can we find E naught? Ria. Ria.
So from the equation C equal to E naught by B naught.
E naught. So from that you can write E naught is equal to C into B naught. Small letter C. What is the value of C? Speed of light. 3 into 10 power 8. How much is B naught? 2 into 10 raised to minus 7. So what you will get? How much you will get? Huh?
60.
60 into 10 raised to 1. That is 6 into 10 raised to 1. Or you will get 60. What is the unit? Unit. Electric field, what is the unit? Volt per meter. First chapter. Volt per meter. Okay. Now tell me what is Ez is equal to. Right. Ez is equal to E naught. How much is E naught? 60 into sine. 60 into sine of kx minus 0.5 into 10 raised to 3x plus 1.5 into 10 raised to 11t. Okay. Now this one itself you can say why electric field is the majority contributor to electromagnetic wave. See, what is the amplitude of B naught? It is 2 into 10 raised to minus 7. 2 into 10 raised to minus 7. What is the magnitude for electric field? Electric field E naught is equal to amplitude is 60. Compare both the values. E naught is very much greater than B naught. That means in electric field, electromagnetic wave, or in case of light, what is the predominant vector? Predominant vector is electric field vector. Why it is so? Because E naught is C times B naught. That means C is 3 into 10 power 8, very big value, B naught. So electric field is very huge value compared to B naught. That's why we say that electric field, we will call it as light vector. Why we will call it as light vector? Because in case of light is an electromagnetic wave. In case of electromagnetic wave, you can see that the contribution of electric field is very huge compared to that of magnetic field. So the property of an electromagnetic wave is predominantly determined by the electric field, not by the magnetic field. But what is the interesting fact? The energy provided by both are same. UE is equal to UB. Even though B is very small contribution, but the energy is same. But the characteristics are characteristics are affected more by the electric field than the magnetic field. From this problem itself, you can understand. Hope it is clear to everyone. All of you got the answer? Any doubt? Niranjana Jayaraj? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
You understand why electric field is called the light vector?
Yes, sir.
So next, simple things, electromagnetic spectrum. Can anyone say what is an electromagnetic spectrum? Now just stories, that's all. Can you say some examples for electromagnetic waves? Electromagnetic waves, can you say some examples? Nandana, yes. Nandana, yes.
Microwaves.
Yeah. Once again.
Microwaves.
Okay, microwaves. Then
Radio waves.
Radio waves, okay.
X-ray.
X-ray, okay.
Gamma
Gamma
ray,
ray, okay.
Visible ray.
ultraviolet ray, infrared ray.
So you are
visible.
always out of your sight. You don't want to tell what you are seeing now. Visible light. That is a perfect example what we can experience. Okay, they are called as visible light. So normally we have gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible rays, infrared rays, microwaves, radio waves. These are the main electromagnetic waves we have. And what is the difference? They have different frequency, and obviously if they have different frequency, you know that they have different wavelength also. Okay, so if we arrange or if we orderly distribute these electromagnetic waves in accordance with their wavelength or frequency, either we can write in the decreasing order of frequency, or we can write in the increasing order of wavelength, or vice versa. If you just orderly arrange them, first we will collect all the waves, and then we will see which is having maximum frequency, we will keep it one side. Then in the decreasing order we will arrange, or in the increasing order also we can arrange. Or what is the other parameter we consider? Wavelength. In the increasing order of wavelength you can arrange, or in case of decreasing wavelength. Okay, so the order in the increasing frequency or decreasing wavelength. Okay, so reverse. In the order of frequency decrease, that means from maximum frequency to minimum frequency, or minimum wavelength to maximum wavelength. This I am telling. Okay, so the maximum frequency is for gamma rays, or it has the least wavelength. Both are opposite. Maximum frequency means minimum wavelength. So I will tell only one. Okay, now I am telling in the decreasing order of frequency. First one, gamma ray, maximum frequency. Next, X-ray, next maximum. That means less than gamma rays. Again, next is ultraviolet. So gamma ray, X-ray, ultraviolet, then visible, then infrared, then microwave, then short radio waves are there. That's all. Okay. So here one I will explain. Gamma ray. First one, gamma ray is there. Then X-ray is there. Then we have ultraviolet ray. Then we have visible ray. Then we have infrared ray. And then we have radio waves. Okay. So here you see what I am telling. This is in the order of decreasing frequency. Frequency decrease as we move from left to right. Here one term you should remember: ultraviolet, infrared. So the term ultraviolet, and this is infrared. See here, if you take visible light, it has seven components. What are they? Which is having maximum frequency? Can anyone tell? VIBG or? It is
Violet.
Violet is maximum frequency, red is minimum frequency. So if you arrange them in this order, it will be VIBG or like this. Now you can say why the just before that we have said ultraviolet. That means more than violet. What is more than violet? Frequency more than violet. So whatever ray is having frequency more than violet, it is called as ultraviolet. Ultra, something more. So now you can understand what is the name nomenclature. Infrared means infra, less than red. Infrared, below. Okay, below red. Why it is below red? Its frequency is less than red. That's why it is called as infrared and ultraviolet. Hope it is clear. So once again, this order you should remember: frequency decrease order, gamma ray, X-ray, UV, visible, infrared, radio wave, and ultrawave and infrared on both sides of the visible light. Ultraviolet, that means we should start from V and we have to end at R. Very easy, VIBG or the same order. As we move from V to R, frequency decreases, or we can say wavelength increases. Red is having maximum wavelength. That's why it is used for danger light. That and all you have studied in class 10th. Hope it is clear to everyone. Now let's see some of the properties. Electromagnetic spectrum, I already told. It is the orderly arrangement of electromagnetic waves in accordance with their wavelength or frequency. It is called as electromagnetic spectrum. Spectrum is nothing but orderly arrangement. So here you can see, first one, this is in the increasing order of wavelength or decreasing order of frequency, in the reverse order. First we will start with microwave, I forgot in between. Okay, radio wave is there. Okay, its frequency is right. You have to by heart this table without any we cannot compromise on that. You should know either the frequency or the wavelength, because one you know, other you can find out. Okay, so here I am telling the electromagnetic spectrum in the increasing order of frequency. So first one, the least frequency is having for radio waves. What is the frequency? It is a range of 10 raised to 9. Next one, microwave. What is the range? 10 raised to 11. Okay, so how to produce a radio wave? By oscillating electronic circuits. And what is the use of radio waves? The term itself says radio. That means it is used for communication purpose. Example, radio, TV, etc. Remote sensing, etc. We are using radio waves. Okay. Next one is microwaves. Next, frequency increased. It is from in the order of 10 raised to 11. Again, the source is same. What is the when we hear the microwave, first thing comes to your mind is microwave oven. Okay. Then we have radars and other to study the atomic and molecular structure uses. So normally how they will give a ray, they will not ask what are the applications of microwaves. They will ask a ray which is used in radars, identify the ray, what is their wavelength, how can we produce it. In that method they may ask the question. Okay, so you should know the electromagnetic wave. You should know either the frequency or wavelength. If you know one thing, you can find the other one. Okay, so you should know the source and you should know the use. And I don't think any meaning in reading this one. Okay, anyway, infrared. Okay, you tell me the applications without looking into that. Infrared.
Remote.
Remote IR is there, isn't it? And then
infrared, the temperature checking. Temperature checking.
Yes. And have you seen the movie Adiran? Not Adiran. What is that name? Fahad Fasil.
Varathan.
Varathan. അതില് അവസാനത്തെ ഫൈറ്റിൽ ഒരു കണ്ണട ഇട്ടിട്ട് പോകുന്നില്ലേ? Night vision cameras. Okay, night vision devices. That is mainly used for military purposes. നമ്മുടെ സർജിക്കൽ സ്ട്രൈക്ക് ഒക്കെ നടത്തിയപ്പോൾ രാത്രിയല്ലേ നടത്തിയത്? ആ സമയത്തൊക്കെ വിഷൻ ഉണ്ടാകാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണ് ഇൻഫ്രാറെഡ്. അതിന്റെ മെയിൻ പർപ്പസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന് ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ഡിറ്റക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, വേരിയേഷന്റെ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ. Okay, so infrared waves, industries, medicinal purpose, astronomy, night vision, greenhouse effect, and ancient walls and all, we can see through that. Okay, so that is infrared. And visible spectrum, for vision, optical instrument, microscope, telescope, etc. and photography we are using. Okay, they are produced by excitation of atoms of molecules. And what is the range? 10 power 14. See that 10 power 9, 10 power 11, 10 power 14, and then it is increasing order. Okay. So that is about visible spectrum. Next, ultraviolet. What comes to your mind when you hear ultraviolet?
Ozone layer depletion.
Ozone layer, that's all. Because ozone protects us from ultraviolet rays. Because UV rays are harmful for human body. They will make the combination some change. That's why. Okay. So ozone rays protect, but they have so many medical applications are there. For sterilization you will use, and you might have heard if you have the water purifier, UV protected, like that you may see in the in the advertisements. Okay, so killing of bacteria and germs in foodstuff, detection of invisible light, forged documents, fingerprint, everything we can use ultraviolet rays. These are the applications are very important. You should know what is the ray, what is the wave, its range, its source, and use. Use is the most important one. Okay, so these are the applications of UV. X-ray, no need to say. All of you might have taken one X-ray by the time now, right? It is used for X-ray photography, treatment of cancer, skin diseases, and locating cracks, and etc. Okay, so for in metallic objects, it is used for quality checking also. Suppose we have a metal, a box is there, you have to check the quality, any defect is associated with that. For that you can use X-ray, because we can see the internal structure. Okay, can you tell me how can we take the X-ray for our human? For example, you are imagine that, okay, only imagination, let it not happen. Your hand is broken, and if you take the X-ray, how can you detect that? Why we are having that X-ray image we are getting? You know?
Sir, X-rays pass through our body, so it can show the bone.
How it can show the bone? If it passes through the bone also?
Sorry, it has more energy.
Because it is nothing but the X-ray can pass through our flesh, but it cannot pass through our bone. Okay, that is not clear, because that much penetrating power is not there. Bones are more stronger. So what you will get? It will pass through all the flesh, so nothing will be visible. So it is almost not opaque. If opaque, we cannot see. Okay, so it cannot pass through the bone. So what you will see? You can see if you hold a pen in front of you and then you light on that torch, what shadow you will get, isn't it? In the same way, you can get the bone image. Okay, that's why they are used as X-rays. But continuous exposure to X-rays are also harmful. That's why they say that for children and like pregnant women, they try to avoid X-rays because they are harmful, because they can make some cell changes and all. Okay, now gamma ray, most powerful one. Since they are the most powerful one, most penetrating power, so they can go up to the nuclei. We can study the structure of nuclei using gamma rays. Okay, and in radioactive process also gamma rays are coming out. Okay, they are very harmful. And astronomical research, etc., we can use. So this is about the chapter. So here I have a conclusion: types of electromagnetic waves. And as you can see, as we move from radio waves to gamma rays, the frequency is decreasing. Sorry, the wavelength is decreasing. The frequency is increasing. And here the examples are given, or the applications are given. Okay.